Masters, the PGA Championship, PGA Tour, SEC football, the NFL, and February 3rd, Super Bowl 53.
Service is courage, strength, honor. Protecting the United States of America is the pinnacle of patriotism. It's a sacrifice I made without hesitation. My foundation was built on this campus, in this pool. It prepared me for any obstacles I might face. In my darkest hours, I found strength and resilience. I may have lost my sight, but I haven't lost my fight. My tragedy turned into my greatest opportunity as I try to inspire the next generation of warriors. As I continue my journey, 4 young teams are beginning their own.
Abdullah for 3, go!
All with high hopes for a new season.
Watson getting on up.
Teamwork.
3-on-1. Throws it down.
Strength. Resilience.
McDuffie, the answer from deep.
Are all seminal to success on and off the court. Traits that help me overcome adversity. For the 5th year in a row, basketball and service are bridged together to honor all who have sacrificed to protect our freedom. Tonight, we salute our past and present heroes. The Veterans Classic starts now.
Thank you to retired Navy Lieutenant Brad Snyder for his service and his time. Snyder is a former Navy swim captain who lost his vision during his tour in Afghanistan. He embodies what serving our country and the Veterans Classic is all about. And as we celebrate Veterans Day in the coming week, we are here at the United States Naval Academy for the 5th Veterans Classic. The first game features the Wichita State Shockers and the Friars of Providence College. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Steve Lapis. John Rothstein will join us in just a little bit. This is your 13th year of doing college basketball. You coached for a long time. I'll tell you, the Veterans Classic does not get old.
No, every coach every year tells us the same thing. It was a tremendous experience, not only for the coaching staff, but for the kids to see what goes on here. Mark Turgeon's only said, our kids work hard, but not like these kids do down here.
Well, there's a lot of changes that go on from one college basketball season to another, and for Wichita State, they obviously are going through a lot of changes. Their top 5 leading scorers are no longer with the program, so they have to readjust.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and they've been tremendous, but they lost a whole lot. So a lot has to do with really Marcus McDuffie, who's the lone really returning guy who played a lot on those teams. Now he's going to have to step up because he's going to be the object of all the scouting reports. He's very athletic.
Color guard. And ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem by the United States Naval Academy Band Brass Quintet.
Well, a beautiful rendition of tonight's national anthem. We've got basketball coming up from the Naval Academy. It's the Veterans Classic, and the tip is coming up next.
Even the best shoppers like to get a head start. So hurry to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's for pre-Black Friday hot buys, like Ridge Hunter Camo Backpacks for only $10. And save $60 on this Browning 20-megapixel game camera.
It's not what champions do, it's what champions don't do. They don't back down, they don't settle, and they don't quit. Except for Cable. Cable. Yeah, you quit Cable. Because we are Cougars, and we don't quit. Unless what? Unless it's Cable!
Quit Cable and switch to DirecTV and get the most live sports in 4K. More for your thing. That's our thing. 1-800-DirecTV.
There's a couple things. There's a couple things I'd like to say to you. I needed you in the dead of night. The wake of the day, first broken light. I'd follow you. I never realized how much I needed you.
Comfort. What we deliver. By delivering.
This holiday season, let Golden Corral do the cooking. We've got something for everyone. Savory slow-roasted beef, tasty turkey, classic ham, and so much more. Come in or order online and make it a Golden Corral holiday.
You could have just camped out on the couch. But instead, you're camped out here, getting out of your comfort zone. It's possible in the all-new Santa Fe with Lane Keep Assist, part of the Hyundai SUV family.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night fast with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Veterans Classic at the U.S. Naval Academy on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Grow with Google, helping veterans, military service members, and their families find jobs and grow their businesses.
Well, it's been a rainy day here at the United States Naval Academy, but it doesn't take away from the pristine buildings that you see when you walk along the yard. There's few places that are as beautiful as Annapolis, Maryland. Our Veterans Classic, our 5th anniversary. Boy, there's been some really good teams that have come here to Annapolis to be part of this. So at least one team has made it to the NCAA tournament in each season. 2 have made it to the Final Four. 7 different conferences, and it gets harder and harder with each passing year, but 7 different conferences have participated. And how about 2014? Michigan State was number 18. They defeated Navy 64-59. That was as good a game as last year's Navy-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, that was a tremendous game, and I believe that Michigan State team went to the Final Four that year, so Navy was very tough. They're tough in this building.
Well, one thing that Ed DeChellis has told us, that Navy will take on Maryland a little later on. That'll be game 2 of this doubleheader. His toughness is a huge key for his team against that Maryland team that he will face later on. All right, so the starting lineups for tonight's ball game, some changes for Wichita State. And I think after talking to Greg Marshall, he's going to have some consistent changes until he figures out some of these young players. Speaking of young players for Providence, David Duke, A.J. Reeves, 2 freshmen who are going to have a big part of the success of the Friars. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, John Rothstein. John?
Well, Tom, you're right. The youth movement, definitely a storyline at Providence. A.J. Reeves was sensational in the opener against Siena, but David Duke, the name to put in bold print. A lot of people in Friartown comparing a freshman to another Chris Dunn, Tom.
That's a pretty high praise. What did you think?
Well, that is really high praise, but this kid is a tremendous, not maybe as athletic, but he's a little bit longer, and he's very, very tough. Again, we talked about that with Diallo. That's one of the things that Ed Cooley wants. Don't go play for him if you're not tough, and this kid fits that mold so perfectly. But how about the way A.J. Reeves comes out of the gate with the highest scoring game in history for a first-game player? Unbelievable.
Well, there's Ed Cooley, who has 145 wins during his career at Providence. He has made it to the NCAA tournament 5 consecutive years. Meanwhile, Greg Marshall, well, this is going to this is going to be a tough year for Wichita State. What they are now is certainly not what they're going to be in January and February.
You know, I talked to Greg a lot before, and I told him this is a year of patience. You know, he's always had, except for his first year at Wichita State, he's always had a lot of returning guys. This year he does not have that, so he's going to have to be patient. Now, here's a guy who's won a ton of games. He's been one of the best coaches in the country, as has Ed Cooley these last 7-8 years. But right now, he's going to need to be patient with this group.
Well, and patience, as you know, is very hard when you're a college basketball coach.
Yeah, especially when you're used to winning as much as he is, and he's used to winning a lot.
Well, we got a great officiating crew. Lamar Simpson's the referee. He's at center court, and we are underway. The 5th Veterans Classic featuring Wichita State and Providence. And Providence controls the tip. Wichita State controls the tip. Providence going to a little zone.
Well, Ed Cooley told us today he was going to start out in some zone to see what Wichita State is going to do against it. Wichita State really struggles.
Yeah, they shot quite live. They let him. Dexter Dennis gets things rolling for Wichita State.
He played very well against Louisiana Tech. He had 10 points. He's a guy that they're hoping that they think is going to be a big-time player. That's a good sign to knock out that 3.
And a little bit of pressure put on by Wichita State just to start things off. Providence 77 points in its initial game of the year. Turned out to be a little tougher game against Siena than they thought it would be. Shot clock down to 5. Jackson way out front. They go to the outside for Diallo. His 3 is good. So it's a 3-3 game.
Great patience by Providence, and that's where Alpha Diallo has made tremendous strides. They're coming out with this 1-2-2-3 quarter court pressure. He is a much improved. He only made 15 threes all of last year. He is a much improved three-point shooter. Made 3 the other day.
And I don't know about you, Coach, but when you have somebody with his length at the top of that press, that's pretty good. Here's Reeves off the glass, and he's fouled by Dexter Dennis, so he'll go to the free throw line.
You know what impressed me about Reeves right there? Now, here's a guy who made 7 out of 9 three-point shots against Siena the other day. That was one heck of a finish, so showing that he's a little bit more than just a three-point shooter. Yeah, great defense by Providence that time.
He came in as a top 50 recruit. He played AAU basketball in the Northeast. He makes the free throw. It's 6-3. Providence is on top.
And you know what I'm seeing from Providence, too, Tom? They are very long and athletic. So this 1-2-2-3 quarter court pressure can be very effective against people with a guy like Alpha Diallo on top.
Played AAU basketball with David Duke, the 2 freshmen, so they kind of know each other, a little familiar with what they can do.
I'll tell you, I love Providence's overall size. I mean, you got a guy like Duke out there who's 6'4", 6'5" as your point guard. They are very long and very athletic.
So a 3-point lead for the Friars just underway here at the Naval Academy. Here's Burton against the zone. Wichita State likes to go to the side in front of the Providence bench or to the corner for some of their threes. They go free throw line for McDuffie, who had an opening shot, no good, and Diallo with the rebound.
See, McDuffie, he's got to get a lot done for them to have a chance in games, especially against competition like this.
Well, A.J. Reeves with his second bucket of the first half. It's 9-3 Providence, so a quick 9-0 run after Wichita State took the 3-0 lead.
This pressure is really causing Wichita State to not be comfortable. Even when they don't throw it away, they're just not really strong with the ball right now. A great transition right there.
Yeah, that was Duke who didn't score his last outing on the distribution to find Reeves.
Reeves, this guy's one of those players, Tom, who when he shoots it, he misses your shot. That's pretty good for a freshman.
A nice pump fake and a baseline jumper, no good, and the rebound is pulled down by Reeves. Quickly gets into the hands of Diallo, running the floor, down low, and Khalif Young is able to lay it in with some force.
You know, that was a great rim run by Khalif Young. He ran right to the box and owned that space, and they threw it to him, and he finished in transition. Very good transition. You take a look here at Khalif Young, where he goes. He goes right to that box. Matter of fact, he doesn't go to the box. He goes to the middle of the lane, seals his man up, and makes a layup. Great transition by the big man.
Yeah, so important to get as deep as he was able to get that early in the possession.
Early, that's the key, Tom.
Torres in the game for the first time for Wichita State, Junior College All-America. As McDuffie is off the mark, and the rebound taken down by the Friars and Young.
Hey, let's talk about one thing with Greg Marshall, Tom. 33 games last year. He called 38 timeouts the whole year. Now, I'm sitting here saying, Wichita State needs a timeout. The year before that, they played 36 games. They only called 35 timeouts. This guy does not call timeouts. He's going to be put to the test this year, I'm telling you.
Well, 17:07 to play. Substitution for the Friars.
Pete Gillen would have called 3 already.
And still had trouble with the PCR?
Yes, no question.
Here's Torres running the point. Burton looks inside, back to Torres. Again, the zone by Providence right out of the gate.
But, Tom, why is it causing so much problem? Because of the length. It's kind of like when we talk about Syracuse with their zone. That's a good offensive rebound. Echenique played very well against Louisiana Tech. He's a junior college kid. He gives them some strength inside. But that zone, because of the length of everybody, that's why Syracuse is so effective, because Boeheim recruits those kind of guys that make it tough.
Yeah, Echenique, 9 points per game as a junior college kid, 6 rebounds. Khalif Young, a little bit of blood on his upper lip.
I don't think it was Ed Cooley's plan to play this many possessions of zone to start the game, but it's been effective, so he says, hey, why change it now?
Yeah, they were working on it today at shoot-around, and they worked on it during the last week, and even in game number 1. As McDuffie off the mark again, loose ball and a battle underneath. It's pulled down by Providence. Chandler with the rebound. Or I should say Jackson with the rebound. Here's Diallo with the fake, heads to the hoop, off the glass, and he'll go to the free throw line. 16-13 to play first half. All right, Lap, let's look at your keys to the game.
Well, key number 1 is for Wichita State, they have to rebound the ball. This Providence team is very physical, and if Providence can contain Marcus McDuffie, I think it's very difficult for Wichita State to score enough points to beat them.
Well, and they have contained him so far. He's off to a rough start shooting-wise. He's 0 for 3. And now Diallo to the free throw line. Good touch on the first free throw. Last game, he was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Burton will check out.
I'm going to venture to say that Greg Marshall calls the least number of timeouts in the country. I don't know if there's a statistic for it. Probably something you can figure out. But I'm telling you, he calls the least timeouts out of any coach I've ever seen.
And that's going to change this year, you think?
I think he's going to be put to the test.
Here's Haynes Jones bringing the ball up the floor. Eric Stevenson in the game for the first time. He's number 10. He's got the basketball that's kicked. Stevenson, the freshman from Lacey, Washington, as the kickball is charged to Isaiah Jackson. So the shot clock at 20. All right, so here's Ricky Torres, top 5 in assists last year as a junior college kid. Never really played high school basketball. McDuffie, jumper off the front of the rim, no good, and Watson pulls down the rebound.
And you know, Tom, he's getting really good looks. He's got to knock some of these out.
Pass down low off the leg of Watson, out of bounds. And it's going to stay on the Providence end of the floor. Well, our early start is a little more zone than we anticipated for the Providence Friars, but they're off to the early lead against Wichita State.
For the 250,000 service members who transition out of the U.S. military every year, one of the toughest parts is a search for a job that takes advantage of the skills you've gained while serving. You can now search with the phrase Jobs for Veterans directly on Google, and then enter your military occupational specialty code. Google brings together job openings from across the web that match the skills you gained in your military role. Just click to apply and use your experience to guide your future.
This is the not-for-sale Kia Forte drift car with a blistering top speed and excessive amount of horsepower. And this is the totally redesigned 2019 Kia Forte. We built one of them with an available smart trunk. You know, so you could tell them apart.
A little less conversation, a little more action. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, a little more spark. Shut your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Don't procrastinate, don't articulate, girl, it's getting late. You just sit and wait around. A little less conversation, a little more action.
Okay, Kevin, USAA Bank is here to help you stay on track. Budget's looking good. Clear for a fill-up? Card? Thank you. We are a go on the beef jerky. You know what? Green light some hydration, too. Thanks, Chief.
USAA Bank helps you take charge of your everyday spending, so you can stay a step ahead.
Let's rock and roll!
Find help at every turn with USAA Bank.
Providence on top of Wichita State 12-5, 15:36 to play in the first half. Well, this has been a busy couple of days for the players and the coaches. Yesterday they went on a tour of the yard here at the United States Naval Academy. They were introduced to some simulations, which I thought was really cool. And every year we look at it, it looks like it's a pretty cool thing. They got a chance to go to see some of the ships that are around the campus itself. That's Wichita State and Greg Marshall, their head coach. And all the coaches, Lap, as you said during the outset, they pointed toward the tour and the schedule that a lot of the mids have to go through and then play sports and how tough it is.
And that's why it's great for these kids here to see what goes on here and what these student athletes, these midshipmen, go through day in and day out at a place like this.
Shot clock is with 20 left after the foul is called against the Shockers.
And now Nate Watson is in the game, number 0 for Khalif Young. He is a good low post scorer.
There's Diallo for Reeves for 3, and it's good.
This guy here.
How about this?
Tom. That was a big time Jay.
Well, he was 7 for 9 from beyond the arc against Siena. You mentioned the 29 points. I mean, it's eye-popping. Again, the pressure by Providence.
This guy's stroke, you know what it reminds me of? I don't want to say, I probably am being over-effusive. His stroke got Ray Allen written on it.
Wow. Stevenson with the shot clock at 10, gives it up to Haynes Jones, and his 3 is good. Second 3 for Wichita State.
Second most experienced guy on the team. He didn't play a lot. They averaged 5 points a game last year. He's another guy that will be important if they're going to have some success.
Here's Nichols from the corner and a little too strong. The rebound by Diallo, and he dribbles it out of bounds. All right, watch the form by A.J. Reeves. So composed on this three-pointer.
And that was a great offensive play there. He just drills this. He's getting contested hard there, and that is just absolutely drilled.
A.J. Reeves out of Roxbury, Massachusetts. Gatorade Player of the Year out of high school. Ed Cooley told us today if he stays 4 years, which I know you have to say in college basketball these days, as another 3 is made by Haynes Jones. He said if he stays all 4 years, he may be the all-time leading scorer in Providence history.
Well, this guy makes buckets. There's no doubt about it.
But it's a 4-point lead for the Friars. Wichita State hanging tough.
And they've got a little life because making 3 threes makes a humongous difference against Louisiana Tech. They shot it. They were 7 for 25 for the game.
Langford for 3, no good. Rebound is tipped to Watson. They go to the corner for Reeves, puts it on the floor. And a whistle blows and a foul will be called against Stevenson. As McDuffie's about to check back in for the Shockers. That's 14 fouls now for Wichita State. 4 fouls for the Shockers, 1 foul for Providence. The bounce goes to Malik White, who's in the game for the first time. He had a really good game defensively against Siena. The hook shot no good. Nichols with the board, and he puts it back. It's good, and he's fouled.
You know, they're all over this offensive glass right now. Now, this Providence team is bigger and more physical than Wichita State. Let's understand this about Wichita State, and you'll see here a terrific offensive rebound. Greg Marshall's teams have been the best rebounding teams in the country the last 2 years. They average over 9 rebound margin over their opponents a game. They got killed off the glass the other day by Louisiana Tech by 11. This is going to be a game and a year where his rebounding prowess as a coach is going to be put to the test.
Nichols misses the free throw, and here come the Shockers in transition. Haynes Jones has made back-to-back threes. He peppers the defense a little bit, gets it back out to Stevenson. Echenique in front of the Providence bench.
And Providence going man-to-man now. They saw a little bit too much of this stuff.
Here's Echenique with a touch off the glass off the offensive board.
You know, he was the one big guy that played really well against Louisiana Tech, doing what he does around the basket, getting offensive rebounds, doing a nice job so far.
Out of Trinity Community College. He hails from Columbia. Little motion offense up front for Providence. And Langford off the glass, no good. Another offensive rebound by Providence as Watson puts it back.
I mean, that's killing Greg Marshall. He's yelling for guys to put a body on him. The problem is you're not putting a big body on him. You're putting a smaller body on him.
Here's Haynes Jones, peppers the arc, and another three. It's good. That's a tough shot over the top of Ashton Langford.
You know, there's another reason why they lost the other day. He was awful in that game against Louisiana Tech. He's really come out here with a vengeance.
Yeah, they liked what he did against Catalba in the exhibition game. He had 19 points. 3 for 3 from beyond the arc here. The lead is 3 for the Friars.
2 for 13 against Louisiana Tech. At home.
Shot clock is down to 3. Diallo with the reverse, and he's fouled by Echenique. All right, so let's look at Haynes Jones again, how he got free with some individual play.
But this is just good individual move. I mean, Mekhi Langford was all over him, and he made a tough shot. That step back 3.
Second personal foul called against Echenique. So Diallo to the free throw line. Morris Udeze will check in for the first time for Wichita State. 6'8", 254 pounds out of Houston, Texas, another freshman. And back in the game for Providence is David Duke. Diallo missed one, made one. So the lead is 4. And again, it's because of Haynes Jones with his three-point shooting.
And Providence trying to switch up. Now they went back to the zone, just trying to keep them off guard.
They go to the free throw line for McDuffie. Down to the corner, it's cut off. They worked on that today during shoot-around. Here comes Diallo to the corner. And a three-pointer for Malik White.
He's a kid that Ed Cooley was telling us today. He's really waiting for this kid to come into his own because they need some scoring off the bench, and he has the potential to be that.
Yeah, 4.8 points per game last year, and another turnover nearly forced.
Look how many balls they're getting their hands on. That was a good pass by Stevenson.
Yep.
Really good pass.
Yeah, McDuffie underneath. Stevenson had 16 points in the first game. Diallo, a soft jumper from about 10. Now the lead is 7 for the Friars. Here's Stevenson, puts it on the floor, pull-up jumper, too strong, but McDuffie's there with the rebound.
You know, one thing about a zone, as good a rebounding team as Providence is, you don't rebound as well out of a zone as you do out of man-to-man, and that's where Wichita State now has hurt them on the offensive glass.
And particularly when you don't play zone all the time, you got to get used to those areas.
Even more so.
Here comes White between the rings. Inside for Nichols, who was able to penetrate against McDuffie and hook it in. Another long player for Providence, Jimmy Nichols out of Conway, South Carolina.
It's another guy they're very high on.
Yep. Here's Dennis, and his shot is blocked away. White into the open floor, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Shockers. Good hustle on both ends. 7-point game, 10-14 to play here in the first half.
Well, the Providence Friars, led by this guy, Alpha Diallo, preseason All Big East. Getting it done there, and then a nice pass on the inside, and the Friars up 7.
A game of honor.
Army has won it.
The Army-Navy game presented by USAA, Saturday, December 8th on CBS.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Fall open enrollment is now. Call to see if you're eligible. The consultation is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more, included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Don't miss the deadline. Call now to take advantage of fall open enrollment.
Call 1-800-586-1060. That's 1-800-586-1060.
My son had been injured and he was prescribed pain opiates. No one ever told us how highly addictive these drugs were. My initial reaction was shock. My son didn't get so deep into the dark, scary woods overnight, and it's no straight line coming back. For parents out there who don't have hope, I realize there's a lot of families that are torn apart, but families can heal. Young people can get better.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
27-20, Providence on top of Wichita State. CBS Sports Network is on the gridiron all day tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern with Lafayette battling Army, followed by New Mexico visiting Air Force. And later, it's a clash in the American as Temple goes head-to-head with Houston on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And the American standings, UCF will take on Navy tomorrow down in Orlando. They're 5-0 in the conference, 8-0 overall. Cincinnati's been good. Temple has been closing this season. Hey, how about A.J. Reeves? It's our first chance to see him in person.
Wow, let me tell you, he's been impressive. A great finish there. This guy is a tremendous three-point shooter. His ball does not touch the rim ever, it seems like. So just a really good offensive player who's getting better defensively. 29 points in his first game, 7 out of 9 from the three-point line. Tonight, 9 points already in this game. He's looking like a pretty good, not pretty good freshman, pretty good player.
Well, he'll take a breather for Providence as the Friars will inbound along the baseline. David Duke will trigger an inbound. 10-14 to play here in the first half. They get it into Jackson, who was in all kinds of trouble, and finally gets it out to Duke. You know, Duke didn't score last game for Providence, but he ran the floor well, which says a lot for a freshman. And a traveling violation called, so he's called for the turnover.
And that's a good call. I mean, he is just a little bit lost, it seems like, right now. He's not a great three-point shooter. They're laying off of him. Not really sure of what he wants to do out there right now. Certainly not as a guy who's as confident right now as A.J. Reeves is.
So Wichita State can cut it to the 7-point deficit, and another block for the Friars. Burton tried to spin his way in. McDuffie with the rebound. That was good pursuit by Torres to get back defensively. Here comes Burton up the floor. Now to Torres. Quick pass inside. And that was a good play to Udeze. That's his first bucket of the night. 5-point game. (27-22). Here's Duke looking in. Providence at game one shot 55%. They were 13 of 25 from beyond the arc. It's good defense by Wichita State. Three-pointer by White, and it's no good. And a rebound pulled down by Udeze.
They forced a tough shot that time.
And now Burton. McDuffie had a size mismatch. That's a tough pass to the corner for Dennis. Here's McDuffie for three. Looked like it might have been hit. Rebound, though, is taken underneath by Burton. And it's a fresh 30 for the Shockers. Burton up top. They tried to get it to Torres on the back door. Here's Burton, 17-footer, no good. Rimmed out. And a loose ball, and it's picked up by the Friars. And White nearly traveled as he went to the floor.
He was sliding around pretty good on the floor.
Jackson thought about the three. Instead for Duke for three. No good. Hard off the iron. And Burton is bumped. It's a 5-point game. A lot of action so far here in the first half in Annapolis.
It's not what champions do, it's what champions don't do. They don't back down, they don't settle, and they don't quit. Except for Cable. Cable. Yeah, you quit Cable. Because we are Cougars, and we don't quit. Unless what? Unless it's Cable!
Quit Cable and switch to DirecTV and get the most live sports in 4K. More for your thing. That's our thing. 1-800-DirecTV.
A moment of joy, a source of inspiration, an act of kindness, an old friend, a new beginning, some welcome relief, or a cause for celebration. What's inside? Possibilities. What we deliver by delivering.
This holiday season, let Golden Corral do the cooking. We've got something for everyone. Savory slow-roasted beef, tasty turkey, classic ham, and so much more. Come in or order online and make it a Golden Corral holiday.
It was supposed to be a weekend of serious binge watching. But memories aren't made by staying in. Getting out of your comfort zone. It's possible in the award-winning Tucson, part of the Hyundai SUV family.
Wichita State's largest deficit was 10. They're within 5 with 7:59 to play in the first half. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Pete Gillen, Wally Zerbiak, and Gary Parrish are in our New York studios. Scores and highlights from around the country, plus analysis of this first half. All right, so what have you liked so far, Lap?
Well, you talk about doing your work early on the offensive end if you're a big guy, but here's a situation where Khalif Young, number 13, is not doing his work early on the defensive end, and that's what allows Udeze to get open for that layup. You've got to play post defense the whole time early, and if you play it a little earlier, they don't get an easy basket like that. I'm going to guess that when Ed Cooley watches the tape, not going to be happy with that one.
All right, let's see what Wichita State does here. Again, it's a 5-point deficit, which, again, it was a 10-point lead at one point for the Friars.
Yeah, Wichita State's hanging in there because Wichita State is making enough shots and getting enough offensive rebounds to hang into the game right now.
A lot of traffic. That's McDuffie. I'm not sure if they'll draw that one up again for later in the season.
I don't think so.
And a near steal by McDuffie.
I thought he traveled. No, he didn't.
No, he let go of it before he went back down to the ground. Providence will inbound. What do you think John Roth's see to Marcus McDuffie?
Well, Marcus McDuffie, Tom, one of these guys who went through the NBA draft process last spring, opted to come back to school. Now he is the alpha at Wichita State after being an ancillary piece to the puzzle the last couple of years, trying to, again, be an anchor for this young Wichita State team, Tom.
Hey, you know what I liked, guys? I don't know how you guys felt about this. Baseline jumper's no good. And the rebound by Wichita State.
Good box out there, by the way. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
I liked that he came up to us and shook our hand after practice today. And thanked us for coming. Here's McDuffie for 3. It's good. We're tied up at 27.
You know, you look at Samanje Haynes and Marcus McDuffie, the two returning guys that played it all, and those are the guys that are leading the charge for them right now.
Well, Greg Marshall said today, and we heard it over and over again at practice, is that he needs guys to be louder on the floor. And I think he also is trying to get some of his veteran players to sort of take charge. Now, McDuffie shot this ball with a lot of confidence.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Tom, and that's what he hasn't had really at the start of this season. But he raises up for this jump shot and knocks it out. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he's a capable three-point shooter when he gets the right look.
He has 9 of the last 11 points for Wichita State to tie this game at 27. Now it's 7:01 to play in the first half. They'll have the basketball. Drew Edwards checks in for Providence. And no changes for Wichita State. A little pressure now by Providence. That's Burton, who's sidewind up the floor. Dennis trying to go down low to Odesi. Odesi along the baseline, out to McDuffie, has it knocked away and picked up by Wichita State. He's able to go back to the other side because it was touched by Providence. Shot clock does not reset, and a slam by Odesi. Nice slip pass by Burton.
This team looks completely different than they looked the other night against Louisiana Tech at home.
29-27. Down by 10 at one point in this first half. And a foul called on McDuffie.
This is no longer that in the old days, that last year actually, the year before, that could have been a backcourt. It is not a backcourt now when the ball is loose.
By the way, I got to correct myself. I gave credit to Burton on that pass. Taines Jones, who took it the whole way.
21, man. 21. Here we go. Hey, I got you.
And out of the free throw line is Jimmy Nichols. And a little too strong.
A little.
As Dennis knocks it out of bounds.
That was very
I'm trying to get
diplomatic of you.
Trying to get my basketball vernacular down.
Yeah.
Lap, it's game one. McDuffie checks out. And Stevenson checks in. And Stevenson with a steal, leaves it for Burton, one-on-one. Slips the pass, and no good. A foul is called, though, against Providence. It'll be against Reeves. It'll send Dennis to the free throw line.
There's a lot of bounce in there, Steph. Good job defensively there by Stevenson. And a good call there on the foul.
Here's Dexter Dennis, 3 points so far in the game. First free throw is no good. What's up, John Rothstein?
Well, guys, the Wichita State staff throughout the preseason told me that Dexter Dennis was the one newcomer that consistently stood out. You remember a couple years ago they had a wing athletically that could really take away the opponent's top scorer in Tequil Cotton. Some similarities there from the Shocker staff, guys.
Well, that's a lot of praise. In fact, there are a lot of people that think that he has a chance to play at the next level after his career's over with at Wichita State.
Well, he's got the physical attributes. He's long, he's athletic, he's tough, he's a very good shooter, but he's got a long way to go.
Edwards, by the way, in the ball game for Reeves, who's out with 2 personal fouls for Providence. Shot clock is under 10. Bounce pass to the corner. Diallo, three-pointer is good. So we are tied up at 30 as Alpha Diallo is able to convert a timeout called by Providence. We'll be back with a very even first half.
Life doesn't have to be this hard just because you lost your car insurance. At The General, we make it easy to get affordable car insurance. Payments are low, and you choose your payment due date.
Nice hog.
Thanks. For a great low rate you can get online, go to The General and save some time.
Well, here's an example of some great offense. Ashton Langford coming off this screen right here, and that's going to leave Diallo on the wing when the help comes, and they can't get to him fast enough. That is good offense, making that split and kicking to the wing.
That's the first field goal made also for Providence in the last 5 minutes of this ball game. So we're tied up at 30. Wichita State playing with the McDuffie on the sidelines. He just checked out before the last timeout. Here's Dennis for 3. It's good.
Good looking stroke. This is a different team, I'm telling you.
Yeah, their tempo is up a little bit too.
Yeah, they're playing a little bit faster, playing with more energy and with more confidence.
Well, again, we talked about it at shoot around today. Greg Marshall said that over and over and over again, and so did his coaching staff. Nichols was wide open, but he stepped out of bounds along the sideline.
And, you know, you can see that Ed Cooley's kind of struggling, trying to find a group here to kind of get it together.
And that happens, doesn't it, Lap?
Oh, all the time, especially early in the season. You know, this definitely happens. And, you know, Ed's got an adjustment to make, too, because he's got a lot of guys. And sometimes having a lot of guys isn't the greatest thing in the world because you want guys to play, and you don't really focus in on a 7 or 8 rotation yet because you're looking at a lot of people.
Yet again, he's without guys from last year like Bullock, Cartwright, Lindsey. Those are big guys for him last season in the trip to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for a new kind of, they had Diallo, but they were looking, guys are stepping up into new roles for them also.
Whistle blows. And Wichita State will give the ball back to Providence.
I'm going to say that Duke has been a little bit disappointing so far. It's very early in the year. Let's understand that this kid is a really talented kid. He's going to be a good player. But right now, struggling to really find his way.
The preseason co-rookie of the year. The Big East. 4.5 to play in the first half. Edwards for three, no good. And the rebound by Diallo and the putback on the reverse side.
And that's what he does. He can play every position on the floor. He had a double-double the other night against Siena. A very good rebounder and a really good shooter.
12 points now for Diallo. Burton got away with a carry. He didn't have control, though. Here's Stevenson. Pass is nearly cut off. Picked up by Burton. Feeds it inside to Dennis. And Dennis will go back to the free throw line as Nate Watson called for the foul.
Well, you better know where Alpha Diallo is at all times. Not only in the corner on offense, but also on the glass, because he really picks it up there.
You're now rocking with the best. You're now rocking with the best.
That other pregame show, Sunday at 8 on CBS Sports Network.
Okay, Kevin, USAA Bank is here to help you stay on track. Budget's looking good. Clear for a fill-up? Card? Thank you. We are a go on the beef jerky. You know what? Green light some hydration, too. Thanks, Chief.
USAA Bank helps you take charge of your everyday spending, so you can stay a step ahead.
Let's rock and roll!
Find help at every turn with USAA Bank.
Remember when Christmas was magical? When the mailman delivered to the North Pole? And we all had a front row shoulder-top seat at the parade. Let's get back there. Celebrate the arrival of Santa at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's Saturday at 5 p.m. with the unveiling of Santa's Wonderland, with the arcades, RC trucks, crafts, even a picture with Santa, and it's all free. Plus, get extras for the family with a personalized Christmas card package, now only $5.
This holiday season, let Golden Corral do the cooking. We've got something for everyone. Savory slow-roasted beef, tasty turkey, classic ham, and so much more. Come in or order online and make it a Golden Corral holiday.
Well, the Shockers have used the three-point shot to take the lead by one. Tonight at 11 Eastern, the world's toughest Cowboys ride for their legacies and move one step closer to lifting the Golden Buckle. Don't miss round 3 of the PBR World Finals from Las Vegas right here on CBS Sports Network. Speaking of the three-point shooting for Wichita State, they've really kicked it up a notch.
Well, they made 7 the whole game against Louisiana Tech. They have 6 tonight with 4 minutes to go in the first half. So making shots makes such a big difference. Your defense is better, especially with young teams. And that's what happened to them at Louisiana Tech the other day. They didn't play well on offense. It affected their defense. Now they're shooting the ball well, and they feel energized, and it shows up on both ends of the floor. But give this kid credit. Samaje Jones, one of the 2 returning guys with experience, doing a great job of leading the way for the Shockers.
Yeah, think about it. They scored 58 points against Louisiana Tech. 33 of the 58 were by freshmen. And tonight, it's a little different. To the free throw line goes Dexter Dennis. He'll get a couple shots. First one is good.
I think the freshmen play better and like it better when they see the upperclassmen like a Haynes Jones, like a Marcus McDuffie, get things going.
It takes pressure off them.
Absolutely.
Second free throw is no good. It's a 2-point lead for Wichita State. Well, don't forget, coming up after this game, it'll be Navy against Maryland. They'll meet for the first time. There's Mark Turgeon, the head coach of the Terps. They'll meet for the first time since 1985.
And let's say this, Tom. I was at that game, but I was going to say about Greg Marshall. Were they on the ropes early in this game, do you think?
Yes, they were.
Did he call timeout?
He did not. How many would you have called, do you think?
At least one.
Yeah. Diallo makes the first free throw.
I mean, they weren't getting blitzed, but I definitely would have called one.
I think the good thing is that we'll find out at halftime during the studio show how many Pete would have called.
Yeah, well, at least 2, without question 2. Because one would have come in the first 15 seconds of the game.
Chris Monroe will check in for the first time for Providence. By the way, we haven't seen any of Emmett Holt yet for the Friars.
You know, that kid was out all last year with a bad abdominal injury. And I think he's just starting to find his way back a little bit.
4 turnovers for Wichita State.
And he was a good player 2 years ago. Really good.
Here comes David Duke with Jackson up front. Little zone by Wichita State. And Duke slips it down low to Diallo, who got some separation, but the ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a 2-shot foul.
I like what they did early in the game against this Wichita State zone, screening that top guy a little bit and then getting a little penetration and then a kick to the wing.
That foul is called on Isaiah Poor Bear Chandler. Into the game for the first time. David Duke to the free throw line. And for David Duke, that bucket means his first collegiate points, as McDuffie will check back in.
I don't think they thought this kid was going to go a game and a half basically to get his first points.
He was pacing himself.
He just, you know, it's a different level. And I'm sure David Duke dominated at the high school level just physically when you look at it.
Well, he makes both free throws. Providence back on top 36-34. Torres off the screen set by Chandler. And here's Haynes Jones. Step back jumper, no good. And the rebound for Diallo.
That thing was halfway down.
Sure was.
That was a smooth move.
And a bucket for Duke. And he'll go to the free throw line to finish off this 3-point play. See, all it takes for a score is to get a free throw.
Yeah, but this is pretty smooth. Nice finish.
Eric Stevenson.
Not an easy finish either.
No. Duke now 3 for 3 for the free throw line. Providence's largest lead in the first half was 10. That was early on. Now they're on a 9-1 run.
And now Wichita State here, they had these scoring droughts, and they really need a basket.
And McDuffie will try to get that basket again. It was halfway down.
Great look, too.
McDuffie backs off the potential foul. Here's Jackson for 3, and no good off the back of the iron. Diallo with his 5th rebound, and no foul called against the Shockers.
Diallo, you see this guy, he's got his eyes on where that ball is going off that glass every single time.
He has 14 points in this first half for Providence.
He's just, you know, and is it flashy? It's just, he just gets it done. You know, you don't even, like, Reeves has had some flashy things. David Duke just had a great, this guy, nothing flashy. He just gets it done.
Obviously, Providence was a good team last year. They were 21-14, and for Diallo, it was the Big East tournament, at least I thought, where he really came out and showed his athleticism. He averaged 19 points per game.
He was their best player.
Yeah.
And they lost to Villanova in a very tough game in the championship, so that's where Diallo kind of established himself as being a star in the league like he is this year.
Missed his second free throw, too. Stevenson with the rebound. 2:45 to play. Here in the first half, it's a 5-point lead for Providence. Torres searching. Udezi, the freshman, wants the ball down low. Now he comes up for the high screen. And Udezi has it knocked away. Shot clock is down to 5. He'll work his way to the basket. Got some separation. Could not convert, but McDuffie is there to clean it up.
You see it happen all the time. Some dribble penetration leading to an offensive rebound.
Monroe to Diallo. To the corner for White. 3 is too strong, and Udezi, I like that kid.
Yeah, freshman.
And off the glass, it's good for Haynes Jones. 39-38, under 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
You know, that second foul that Reeves got kind of helped change things around here a little bit, too. obviously been out a while.
I think Wichita State's going to be happy with that number
Absolutely.
right there. Right? Points in the paint.
And Reeves is obviously going to be sat out till the second half.
And an air ball. Chris Monroe from way downtown. Maybe a little too early to pull the trigger. How about this putback for McDuffie?
Great penetration there. Helps to be a left-hander.
Eight second chance points for Wichita State. It's a 1-point lead for Providence. The Shockers can retake the lead. Haynes Jones under the basket. Stevenson off the screen. And now McDuffie heading to the basket, and he will go to the free throw line.
You know, I say one thing about Greg Marshall's teams over the years, haven't seen them a lot. They do a great job of reversing the ball. And when you reverse the ball, that's when you get the defense moving around a little bit so they're not in position. That was a classic example. They reversed it a couple of times. McDuffie finds a little seam to get to a place where there's no help, and his defender can't stay with him, and he fouls him.
McDuffie to the free throw line for the first time. Off the front of the rim. Marcus McDuffie, this is only appeared in 22 games last season and 93 overall. He's averaging 9.3 for his career.
And as we said earlier, very young, you know, just turned 21 years old this past September. You don't see too many college seniors nowadays not be 23 years old for the most part.
Well, I mean, he comes from St. Anthony's, where Bob Hurley was his head coach in high school, so there's a little bit of that dust on him too.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
39 all.
I'll say one thing that we've seen, Tom, Providence without Reeves is a different team.
Yeah, just one less scoring option and one body that can move around. And a ball knocked away, the steal by the Shockers, and a foul called against Malik White. Well, that is the 18th foul for the Friars. So 1-and-1 opportunity. Actually, I'll correct that. It's the 17th foul. First free throw is good, so Burton will get a second one. Nate Watson will check back in. Young checks out. And another made free throw. Wichita State was only 11 for 26 from the free throw line in their first game. Under a minute to play, a 2-point lead for the Shockers. Thanks to a 7-0 run. White. Jackson was trying to be just a distributor from the corner. White down to the baseline. Shot clock under 10. Stevenson cuts off Duke. Shot clock is at 3. I'm not sure if White realizes it. Now he does. He lets it fly. No good. It's a violation. It never hit the rim.
He had an open shot. He just didn't want to shoot it. So you see that there's a real lack of confidence in some of these guys that come off the bench. So it's not so much, yes, Reeves is out of the game, but the guys coming in for him really aren't getting anything done. That's what really hurts.
Well, some substitutions and a timeout called. 22.7 to play. Wichita State uses its first timeout.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night fast with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
OfferUp is a new free app that shows you what people are selling nearby.
It's kind of like a game. Every day there are new surprises.
Come on, flat screen TV.
Oh, come on, dining room table.
Come on, sofa.
Yeah.
OfferUp is free to use. Find anything you want nearby.
All right, lap 22.7 to play. Wichita State called a timeout. They lead it by 2. McDuffie's back in. Is he the go-to guy?
Yeah, I mean, they just want to get a good shot. They want to make sure they get the last shot of the half. The big thing is because they'll be very happy to get out of here with a 2-point lead or maybe more, and they probably will look for McDuffie here.
And don't forget, Haynes Jones has had a good first half. He's running the point right now for the Shockers. But McDuffie has 12 points on 5 of 11 shooting. Haynes Jones just holding it out front. Now it's under 10, so he should start. Off the screen by Odesi. Up top for Stevenson, lets it fly. It's good! He rattled it home with 2 seconds to play in the first half, and the Shockers are up by 5.
Boy, they're feeling really good right now. That was a great play at the end of the half, and Stevenson, who had struggled to shoot, made a tough shot there.
I mean, he was 4 steps beyond the arc, if not more.
And that was really bad defense by Providence. They lost a guy who was the best player the other day for Wichita State.
Well, you said Greg Marshall has to be happy. John Rothstein, is he happy?
Well, Coach Marshall, we've learned one thing in the first half. 72 hours can make a lot of difference. What's the biggest difference in your team in the first half versus Louisiana Tech on Tuesday?
Well, the last 10 minutes we competed like a Wichita State team. We didn't compete the first 10 minutes. I think they had 29 points in the first 9.5 minutes of the game, which is a horrendous pace. It's over like almost 60 points, 56, 57. I'm not a math major, but we competed, we defended, we got some stops, and then we got some guys finally making some shots. The seniors stepped up a little bit. I thought Eric's shot there. Samaje was tremendous offensively in the first half. We got to stay out of foul trouble. We got a lot of veterans. The only few veterans we have foul trouble.
Thanks, Greg. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, John.
Tom? Well, that's the end of the first half with the score. Wichita State 44, Providence 39. You're watching the Veterans Classic on CBS Sports Network. After the break, we'll send you to our New York studio for AT&T at the half.
Games of Army-Navy is brought to you by USAA, proud sponsor of America's Game.
When Army met Navy in 2016, it had been 14 long years since the Black Knights had defeated the midshipmen. After injuries felled Navy's first and second string quarterbacks, Zach Abey was pressed into duty for his first collegiate start. Army scored early and led 14-0 at the half. Abey kept the midshipmen in the game with a touchdown run in the third quarter and another in the fourth to briefly give Navy the lead.
Touchdown, Navy!
But Army quarterback Ahmad Bradshaw was not about to let this one slip away. The Black Knights responded with an 80-yard drive, and Bradshaw barreled into the end zone to secure the win, 21-17.
Touchdown, Army!
After 14 long years, the drought was finally over.
This has been Great Games of Army-Navy, brought to you by USAA.
What is the future? The future's golf, literally. I just booked a 10:30 tee time and invited all you folks via golf book to come golf with me. First 3 to confirm are in. Who's in? Jonesy's in. Oh, Sarah's in. Woo! It's getting physical, folks. And little Ricky's in. For the rest of you, I don't know, the future's like just not golf. It's the saddest possible thing I can imagine. That's a Fred talk.
The right to play on any playing field, you have earned it. The right to hold a job, you have earned it. The right to study in any school, you have earned it. The days of separation and segregation are over.
As we near the end of the season, you can feel the severity of needing to come out on top. In round 8, things fell apart for many drivers in their dash to the front of the pack.
Oh, and the caution flag comes out.
Oh, and R.J. Anderson jumps off the racetrack.
Oh.
Bradley Morris, the right front is broken off the truck.
There are only 3 rounds left, and chaos is bound to follow here at the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. This Sunday on CBS Sports Network.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T, giving you more for your college basketball thing.
Welcome in, AT&T at the half. Wichita State Providence 44-39. Shockers the lead. A 10-0 run to close the half. Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, Pete Gillen, Gary Parrish. Entertaining basketball in the opening 20, Coach.
Terrific. Wichita State was unbelievable. They struggled against La Tech early, and then they come out here now. How about Haynes Jones? He's a young man who scored 5 points a game last year. A young man from Wichita. Just, hey, this is my senior year. Bang! 3 for 3 from downtown. Good range. Here we go. Little move. Step back. Boom. Here we go. Little shake and bake. One more. Dribble through the leg. Step back. Haynes Jones. excellent, 11 points. And the other senior, right, Marcus McDuffie, who I coached when you guys were resting on the beach a couple of years ago. I coached him at a Reebok camp, had 12. Mark that down, fellas.
Okay. I'll tell you, Wichita State shooting the lights out, 7 for 10 from the three-point line. But another guy that's shooting the lights out for Providence is Alpha Diallo. Last year from the three-point line, guys, he only shot 21%. But he put work in the offseason to improve his jumper. He was 3 for 5 in the first game. He was 2 for 2 in the first half, showing the repertoire with the up fake and bucket. There is 2 threes. He's helping keep Providence in this game, but if Providence wants to win this game, they better defend the three-point line, Gary.
It's really nice to see Marcus McDuffie playing like this. Like Coach said, 12 points, 4 rebounds. This is a guy who was supposed to have a breakout season last season. Just never happened. He had a stress fracture in his right foot in September, missed some games, then was never healthy. But he's healthy now, playing well, and he's the reason Wichita State's got a chance to improve to 1-1 after a pretty bad home loss earlier in the week.
All right, let's go big picture with the season just getting underway. Give me an unranked team to watch, Pete.
Brent, I love Buffalo. As you know, they beat Arizona last year in the NCAA tournament. I went to see them play. Well, you guys were on vacation. You were playing your guitar. You were playing golf.
I didn't take all these vacations.
I saw them play an exhibition game. I don't care. You're living on memories. I saw them play, and they were terrific. Nick Perkins inside. All right, Jeremy Harris from downtown. They're terrific. Right now, they're getting some votes. They're a top 25 team down the road.
I think it's a team that's going to be on our air a little later on. That's Maryland. I've got the Terrapins ranked in the top 25 and 1 over at CBSSports.com, but they're not in the AP poll. I think they should be. They returned 3 of the top 5 scorers from a top 40 team last season, including Anthony Cowan and Bruno Fernando. Then they enroll a 5-star big in Jalen Smith, who was terrific the other night in the opener. 19 points, 13 rebounds. You never know how the first-year guys are going to transition, but if he's going to be legit from opening night and you pair him with another pro in the front court and an experienced scoring guard like Cowan, you got something special there.
Meantime, Wally, your team is the local team here. We both love this St. John's group, and they're playing right now against Bowling Green, and Bowling Green actually has the edge by 2. Bowling Green 7 of 11 from distance, but early on, St. John's did look good, Wally.
Yeah, you know Shamari Pons is going to light it up from deep. He was tremendous last year, carrying it on there with the deep triple. There's the kick-out pass. Justin Simon with the nice pull-up. St. John's was getting after him, defensive end of the floor, turnovers, leads, and buckets. But now, Bowling Green, Mid-American Conference coming back.
That's your conference.
That's your conference.
Watch out for the Red Hawks, boys.
35-33. Clark has got 13, and the transfer from Auburn, Mustafa Heron, playing well as well. But again, they are down by 2. AT&T at the half continues. We head back to Annapolis after the break to check in with our very own John Rothstein. Stay with us.
For the 250,000 service members who transition out of the U.S. military every year, one of the toughest parts is a search for a job that takes advantage of the skills you've gained while serving. You can now search with the phrase Jobs for Veterans directly on Google, and then enter your military occupational specialty code. Google brings together job openings from across the web that match the skills you gained in your military role. Just click to apply and use your experience to guide your future.
This is the not-for-sale Kia Forte drift car with a blistering top speed and excessive amount of horsepower. And this is the totally redesigned 2019 Kia Forte. With an 8-inch touchscreen and professional race car driver Colette Davis to demo it. It doesn't have to make sense.
This holiday season, let Golden Corral do the cooking. We've got something for everyone. Savory slow-roasted beef, tasty turkey, classic ham, and so much more. Come in or order online and make it a Golden Corral holiday.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey.
Hey, how much would you pay for something you don't want?
Nothing. Is this a test?
No. Do you like getting stuff you like for free?
Yes, this feels like a test.
It's not.
Get 6 months free Apple Music on the network you deserve. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones.
divine providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
Welcome back to AT&T at the half.
Yeah, Reeves here in transition, taking it to the rack, nice and strong, doing it from outside and inside, boys.
But Providence is down by 5. Second game up at the Veterans Classic, Maryland taking on our host Navy. John Rothstein caught up with Terps head coach Mark Turgeon just a short time ago.
You're somebody who's always had a reverence for everything that goes into the game. What has it been like the past couple of days to be here in Annapolis and also just to be in an event playing against a team like Navy in your home state?
Yeah, this is really cool. And grew up in the Midwest. You hear about the Naval Academy, but to live so close and then be a part of this is great. It's been even better than I thought, John. Great experience for me as an adult, great experience for our student athletes. The formation before lunch was terrific yesterday, and then to be able to feed 4,500 people or whatever in 15 minutes was just pretty special yesterday for lunch. So it's been good, and just the Navy way, their mission, their goals, all the things that they do. They made a great guest lecture last night, Navy SEAL, who was terrific. A great message for our young people. So it's good for our guys to realize how lucky they are and to live in this great country. So it's been even better than I expected.
Another Navy mission at all levels is to win. For Maryland tonight, what's the biggest key over the next 40 minutes to walk out of here 2-0?
Well, we got to play as hard as they play. I mean, we see how they live every day and attention to detail, and you can see it when you watch them play. Ed does a great job coaching his team. So we got to match how hard they're going to play tonight, and then we just got to bring it for 40 minutes and play on the defensive end for 40 minutes, and got to attack their zone a little bit better and get better than we did against Delaware. And if we do that, it should be a good night.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thanks, John.
Quick thought on the second matchup coming up?
Listen, Navy's up against it. I think they're 1-3 in these games. That's not ideal, but it's big power conference school after another. Ohio State, Michigan State, Florida, Pitt coming in there. So it's a cool thing for those kids to have those types of programs on their campus. I'm looking forward to seeing Anthony Cowan, though. He was not efficient in game 1. Let's see if he can be better with the basketball in game 2.
For Navy, I'm looking forward to see Hassan Abdullah. He led Navy to 20 wins last year, and 16 wins the year before. He's their point guard. He's a pre-med major, 3.2 average. He's what college basketball is about. He's their leader. He's the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, he's going to be a doctor. This guy can command the team. He is super quick and strong, and he's going to have to really push the pace for them to get some easy baskets, especially on their home floor against Maryland.
That's later on CBS Sports Network. Second half of Wichita State, Providence coming at you from the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, after the break.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the half. AT&T, giving you more for your college basketball thing.
Even the best shoppers like to get a head start. Hurry to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's for pre-Black Friday hot buys, like Johnny Morris Carbon Light Bait Cast Reels or Rods for under $80 each, and Wolverine Men's Sightline Waterproof Hunting Boots for under $70.
The most important thing about Choice is that you have one. Choice lets you leave your mark on the world. We're leaving our mark on beer, with a seal that represents more than 6,000 independent craft breweries. That's independence you're tasting.
Mom, thank God you're gonna be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure. Oh, so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-747-9040. That's 1-800-747-9040.
What is the future? The future's golf. Literally. I just booked a 10:30 tee time and invited all you folks via Golfbook to come golf with me. First 3 to confirm are in. Who's in? Jonesy's in. Oh, Sarah's in. Woo! It's getting physical, folks. And little Ricky's in. For the rest of you, I don't know, the future's like just not golf. It's the saddest possible thing I can imagine. That's a Fred talk.
Well, a very entertaining first half. Wichita State on top 44-39 over Providence. All right, so we started this by saying that a couple of the elder statesmen for Wichita State had to pick up some of the slack. We've seen that in this first half.
Well, in the first game against Louisiana Tech, they were 5 for 24 from the field. Samaje Haynes-Jones and Marcus McDuffie. So if you're you only have 2 upperclassmen really on the whole team. Those guys have to play well, and that's what's happening for Wichita State tonight. The 2 upperclassmen are really getting it done.
All right, so to start this ballgame, though, Providence looked like gangbusters coming out here.
They did look like gangbusters. You know, a lot of that had to do with A.J. Reeves scoring 9 points early in this game, picking up his second foul and sitting out a lot. With the 3-point shooting, 7 out of 10 for Wichita State in this game. The other day, they made 7 the entire game for 25, so the 3-point shooting makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that's the Stevenson 3 at the end of the first half, which has given Wichita State the 5-point lead. So as Lapp said, 7 of 10 from beyond the arc, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. That's actually better than the last game, too. And 16 points in the paint. All right, John Rothstein, what does Ed Cooley think about Providence?
Well, Ed Cooley's really frustrated, guys, especially with Wichita State's prowess on the offensive glass. The philosophy for Providence is to make teams take tough 2s, not 3s. Tip your hat to Wichita State. They're made some tough shots, but Providence needs to get back to forcing them to tough 2s, Tom.
Yeah, 6 offensive rebounds and 8 points off those rebounds. And for Providence, they went quiet the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds. You know, Diallo scored while A.J. Reeves was on the bench, and so did David Duke, but that's it.
And I'm interested to see, Tom, how A.J. Reeves comes out as a young player. He sat out a lot in that first half, picking up that second foul. Is he going to be able to pick up where he left off earlier in the game? Let's see.
All right, game 1 of the Veterans Classic reaches the second half. Game 2, Navy and Maryland will come up after this one. Here's Duke. Duke, little hesitation.
See, that's a bad turnover.
Yes, sir.
That's a bad turnover, trying to make something out of nothing. And that's where he's got to learn what is there and what is not there.
Hey, by the way, am I wrong with overstating how good Odezi's been for Wichita State?
Really good. I tell you, the big guys, and Chinike also, they've more than held their own in this game.
Burton gave it up to Dennis, back to Burton. And here is Haynes-Jones up top. And now McDuffie slices through the defense, has it knocked away. Here's Duke, leaves it for Reeves. Reeves gets control. Ho, ho, ho!
Whoa.
You wondered how he would come out.
Athletic. Athletic with a stroke. That's a good combination.
44-41, and another steal by Providence. And it was Reeves who forced the hand. Diallo with his left hand. And it sidewinds around the rim and makes it a 1-point game. So back-to-back turnovers for the Shockers. McDuffie left all alone, and his 3 is good.
That's a big shot because they needed a basket. It looked like Providence came out in the second half ready to go, and that's what the upperclassmen have to do, especially in a game like this on a neutral floor. He's got to get it done. That was a good shot.
15 points. That's 8 3-pointers for Wichita State. And Jackson underneath, and he was strong to the hoop, and it was able to deaden off the front of the rim. 47-45, the Shockers up by 2. The American against the Big East. Udezi
pushed off.
Yes,
that's
he
a
did.
good call.
All right, we like dunks.
Well, A.J. Reeves gets out in transition here.
I like the way he got himself controlled as he went into the open floor. Providence could tie it or take the lead. Jackson slides right past Duke. Now to Diallo. Looks inside, nothing there. And now the pass tipped by Haynes Jones out of bounds. Shot clock does not reset. At least it doesn't initially. It's at 9.
Yes, that's because the defense forced that good ball out of bounds. So why punish the defense when they made a good defensive play? By resetting the shot clock.
There's Duke off the high screen. Jackson, shot clock at 3. Jackson loses control, and it's picked up by Haynes Jones. That was Dexter Dennis who got a hand on it. Burton, bounce pass down low. Desi gets control, and off the glass, it's good.
Desi has been very good. You know what I like about that play? He was very patient. He gathered himself. He didn't have himself together. He took his time, and he made a nice finish.
And he told Greg Marshall they had to be patient.
They are really playing with patience.
Points off turnovers, the Shockers with 10, Providence with 14. Duke's 3 is no good. Dennis with the rebound. Burton for Haynes Jones. Little hesitation, might have got away with a travel there. And another turnover forced by Providence. That's the 3rd they've forced in this half. Reeves, touch.
Whoa.
Wow, off the glass. Count the bucket, and he'll go to the free throw line.
This guy is just a scorer. I mean, this is a tough shot. He gets pushed out, outside the lane, with contact, and still throws it up soft enough so that it goes off the glass and in. Gifted scorer.
So Reeves will go to the free throw line. Diallo and Reeves, 29 of the 47 points. Make it 30 of the 48 points, and it's a one-point game again.
You know, you just always get the feeling that Wichita State, are they going to be able to score enough? I mean, they're doing a great job of hanging in, but you always say, like, all right, who's scoring this next basket for them?
Yeah, they scored 58 points in their first game. They have 49. And Udesi with a strong two-handed jam. Off the pass from Haynes Jones. Now the lead is 3. Game 2 for both of these teams on the season. Jackson for Young, and Young will go to the free throw line.
Well, you're going to see here David Duke not do a great job, number 3 there, in terms of defending Jones. And now look at this. He gets in the lane, and what happens is Young's got to come up and help because Duke lets him go by, and then he's able to dish it off to Udesi for the dunk. So you got to keep guys in front of you. That was an example of David Duke not keeping Samaje Haynes Jones in front of him.
Young makes the first free throw. Stevenson checks in. Dennis will check out. 3 fouls, by the way, for Dexter Dennis. That's why he's checking out.
You know, Tom, you cannot be a good defensive team if you cannot keep the dribbler in front of you. And that is the #1 line of defenses. It all starts there. What are you doing with the dribbler? The dribbler gets in the lane, you got problems.
Yeah, and if you're next to that guy going up the floor, that means he's past you.
Done. Yeah, or even if you're on alongside of him, you got to be in front of him.
Burton up top, Haynes Jones. Quick release, no good. An air ball. Was it deflected? No.
That was good defense by David Duke that time. His size really bothered Haynes Jones.
Udesi will check out. Also out is Young for Providence. Nate Watson checks in. Echenike, by the way, checked in for Wichita State.
You know, the interesting thing, Tom, in this game, I think the big guys in Wichita State have outplayed the Providence big guys.
Yeah, I think they've done a nice job inside.
I mean, Nate Watson really has been quiet in this game.
Burton leaves it for Stevenson, no good, and the rebound loose. Burton's got it again. Burton goes up, and he's fouled. 2-point lead for Wichita State. There's a lot to see when you're on the yard, and the drill team at halftime. How special were they? You could hear a pin drop as they put on their display.
It's not what champions do, it's what champions don't do. They don't back down, they don't settle, and they don't quit. Except for Cable. Cable. Yeah, you quit Cable. Because we are Cougars, and we don't quit. Unless what? Unless it's Cable!
Quit cable and switch to DirecTV and get the most live sports in 4K. More for your thing. That's our thing. 1-800-DirecTV.
There's a couple things. There's a couple things I'd like to say to you. I needed you in the dead of night. The wake of the day first broke.